Welcome back to Eiersholt. It is 7:20 in the morning, the sheds are open, animals have been fed, and we got a bit of a pile-up out here in the yard because we're into mid-spring and it's finally time to get some seeding underway. So we've got a big Xerion here with our plant on. We're going to be using that one for sugar beet up near our new root crop farm that we saw established in the last episode. Immediately behind it, I've put twin tires onto the Veltra, nice big front weight. We're going to bring that one up there as well and start getting some potatoes into the ground. But the planter is already up there, so it'll get hooked on once we get up into that area. Then over here, before I just started the recording here, I was working on getting our new Fendt 1050. It's been put in front of our Grönland seeder. I'm loading it up with oat to go out to field 17, a bit closer to the farm here, the field that we have leased. So that's almost full, just need a little bit more into the machine. And then finally, T7 here at the back with the smaller Pronto seeder. It's going to go down to one of our smaller fields and we're going to put some more canola into the ground there. We do have one canola field already, but we need some oilseed, obviously, both for pig food and it also sells at a pretty decent price. Obviously, we have some fields that we want to put corn down on, and that will come later. It's still too cold for that. Ground temperature is at 4 degrees now, so theoretically, if we're lucky, it creeps up today, but certainly over the mid-spring here, we should see enough of a temperature increase to see growth. A bunch of other things. We've got our case Titan here, sitting ready. There is one field that needs to be limed. That is less of an issue because it's one of the ones we're going to be putting corn on. So the main thing today is to get all of this seeding underway. That is really our primary task for today. So I better finish up loading up the Grönland here and then we'll get things moving. Ready to follow the Xerion up towards the root crop farm so we can get started on both potatoes and sugar beet up there. I also brought the carrots up, so we're all good to get started on getting all of our root crop into the ground. And we finally got a bit of dry weather. The early spring period was almost constant rain. If I get time, I do want to finish off some groundwork. If the field has dried up, we still see the wet crop icon, so it might still be a bit too wet. I showed you in the last episode we had one field where we had to abandon the subsoiling because the tractors were just getting stuck in the mud completely. So we're waiting a little bit, see if maybe things dry up enough today. Otherwise it'll have to be a little bit later here into mid-spring before we do that. But it's a field that's set up for corn, so that's not going to be a problem. So we're coming up to our root crop holes down here on the right, where we established a new road, so we can get into both of the fields quite easily. And we'll just get in here and get the Valtra hooked up. One little snag in here, I might actually have to put another building in. As you can see, our brand new beet and carrot harvester is kind of still sitting outside. That's because it doesn't actually fit inside these sheds. I thought it would have, but there's just not enough clearance. And the headers, well, they're too wide to fit through the gate. So I'm thinking along the side here, where we have a little bit of kind of flat ground anyway, I might put down a slightly more open-sided shed to put these into. But right now, we're okay with having it sit there. So Valtra is parked up. We'll get a sugar beet underway first, and then we can crack on with potatoes as well. As you can see, we got just shy of 1,000 liters of potatoes, but they are seed instead, and I think that texture shows now that we're using the realistic seeder. So right now this is showing a seed instead of potatoes. That should change once we start bringing some of the potato bags out to the seeder, but we'll get it started with what's in here first. Ooh, it's a little bit light on the front. Maybe I should have used a heavier weight, but we'll see how we get on here. I think I'll just start manually here by doing a bit of the headland myself, and we'll see how we get on, at least until it's time to bring in the first bag of seed, and then we'll get the last seeder going down from the farm as well. I guess technically speaking, you don't really want to do headlands first with potatoes. You really want to wait till you finished up, but because we might use courseplay later on for this, I think it'll be better to stick to doing these headlands so we can pick up any generated course later on. But it's nice to see machines moving in both fields here, and spring is starting to really change the landscape. Nice lush green, a little bit of green on the trees now, so it's nice to feel that we're starting on the farming. And this field 12 isn't that small after all, because as you come around the bend here, there's actually quite a bit more area to it than it initially looks like, so we're still going to be getting a lot of potatoes. So we still do have some fairly large puddles here on the field. Have to see if we can make it through with the potato harvester. I think the twin tires should be helping at least, but there's still a lot of slippage right here. So we're already down to just 200 liters of potatoes, so we may find that, am I starting to sink in here? It looks like it. Yeah, got a bit of a wet hole here. Let's see if I can pull ahead just a little bit here and get up on a higher ground and resume. It means we'll have a little gap there, but still better than getting stuck on the first round of headland here. We'll have to get the 6R loaded up with the back lifter. I'll see how far I can make it up towards the top of the field again, so we can get properly refilled on the seeder this time. Over on the sugar beet field on the other side here, it looks like the Zerion is on the second round of headland here. So it start doing straight up down passes. But I'm almost out of potatoes now. But that's not too bad. I would have preferred to have been a little bit further up towards the top of the field. I still think it'll be easier right now to drive the seeder back up, just for now, because I want it filled up completely, and we don't have a trailer here, so we'll shut it down. We'll just run back up to the farm and get the 6R to load us up. Hopefully we have enough weight on the front there to deal with the seeder when it's completely full as well. So we've got 2 boxes of seed carrots sitting ready there as well for the next field, but I don't know if we'll get that far today. It may be that that is going to be in the next episode, or at least during mid-spring here. See if I can get turned around without banging into any walls here. I reckon about 3 bags should do it to fill up the potato seeder completely. It might only be 2. Let's see how we get on. Yeah, so now you can see now the texture in the seeder has gone back to regular old potatoes. So now we've got these empty bags. We want to hang on to those for future seeds, but I just got to figure out, I'll probably put them over along the side of the wall here in the corner, so they don't take up too much space. Third bag going in. I think this should fill it up, but we'll hop into the Valtra and double check unless we can see. Yeah, okay, there we go. We have a bit left in this one, so we'll leave that here for now, and we can get back over to seed some potatoes. The Valtra is just about managing to keep the nose on the ground here. Probably should have put a slightly bigger weight on the front of it, but I think we'll manage. It seems to be working fine once it's dug in. It's just riding with that amount of weight lifted up off the ground where it's struggling a bit. It's got plenty of horsepower to handle the seeder. But we're basically just going to be picking up on the headland here, and I think it looks like we are going to be probably spending most of our time with this machine, because it is by far the one that will be running out of potatoes or seed the quickest, whereas the other seeders can keep going for a good while. But that's okay. That's part of our farming experience here, is to actually do some of the work ourselves. But the fact that we can have work going on in multiple fields at the same time is a big positive. So once we got maybe 2 rounds of headland done, I'll probably set it onto a GPS so we can do some more straight lines of potatoes. That'll make the harvesting easier as well. Well, actually, given that we are going to be doing this field manually, we might as well try and get some straight GPS tracks going straight away instead. So, just making the beginning of our AB line here. I think that should be enough. Set the width and get ourselves going. I think that should be us making some straighter lines for the potatoes here. So, looks like I got a bit carried away with the whoops, with the potato seeding here, because the cereal now needs to be refilled. So I better stop here because we still have another seeder that we need to get started. But it's only 20 to 9 in the morning, so we should be okay. But we'll hop over and have a look at what's going on. Well, the cereal will need to get seed loaded on with pallets. I think it might be easier to drive it back to the farm. Actually, we'll bring the seed tender up instead. I think that'll be better. So we'll get that hooked up to our car and bring it up here. There's still plenty of fertilizer in the tank, so it is just the seed that needs to be filled in right now. But just before I get the seed up, the Zarian, we'll also get the T7 here down on the field, not too far from the vehicle shop, and we'll get that started up as well. Might as well get that going. It's 94% full. That will do for now. We do have one extra pallet, so another 2,000 litres of canola. We'll see how far that reaches on the field. I think it should be enough to finish it off. So we still have this field in here, close to the farm. I haven't quite decided what to do with that one yet. I'm thinking we maybe should try some spelt. I want to put rye down on some of the fields as a winter crop, and maybe use it for green cutting next year to create some whole crop silage. But right now we'll have to wait and see. But for now, we'll get the T7 working on this field in here, and put down some additional canola, so we have a good amount of oilseed grain to mix into pig food here as well. So that's our fourth seeding operation in progress here on the farm. So we're actually making pretty decent progress now that we've got some good weather here. Air temperature is climbing a bit. Ground temperature is up to 4 degrees, so hopefully we'll see some germination fairly soon as well. But we better get back and get that seed tender ready, so we can continue with planting some sugar beets as well. So that's us full up, and we've got 8,000 litres of generic seeds. That leaves us with about 6,000 litres plus probably about 2,000 or 3,000 in pallets Once they're used up, there won't be any more generic seeds on the farm, and we'll just be using specific crop type ones. But now that I am playing with the REA mod, we can see this truck is already struggling a bit with the weight on the back. So we're definitely not going to try and pull this into a field. We've been trying to do that previously when there was mud in the fields, and it was a bit of a challenge. I think with the REA mod, we're just going to get too much slippage. So I'm going to have to take it quite slow, getting up to the field, and we'll have to bring the Syrian out to the edge of the field so we can get it filled back up again and then resume its course. I think we can fit in here. Oh, no, might be a bit too close there. Let's see if I pull out a little bit. Like so. There we go. Oh. Here we go. So, we're getting filled up with seed. However, I did notice, as I was just tapping through, that the 1050 is also getting rather low. So now that this is full, we want to get it back on track as quickly as possible, and then we'll probably need to attend to it. Now let's see, I'm just trying to make out the track where the Syrian here are. I can see the wheel tracks where we pulled off, so we should be okay restarting the courseplay around here. Let's just make sure we're fully unfolded. Lower it down. We've still got the course loaded. And if we get him going, yeah, we're back in action on sugar beets. Yeah, and here we are on the Fendt. Literally, it's running out just as we finished filling up the sugar beet one. So, the seed tender is busy. We got oat seeds sitting down in the shed, so I think best course of action here is to fold up and head back down to the farm. Just looking for the nearest exit to the field here, but I think it'll be all the way down towards the crossing here. So we'll get the 1050 to drive back to the farm instead of bringing the seed out, which perhaps is a little bit counterintuitive, but we don't really have much machinery free right now. We haven't had time to load it up on a flatbed. I think we're only going to be doing this one refill, so on the grand scale of things, it's not too bad. So I'm just going to unfold the seeder here because it makes it easier for the front loader to get in and drop the seeds off. So we got 6,300 litres sitting in full pallets here of oat, so that's enough to fill it and have a little bit left over. I do have one little pallet there with a bit left on as well. Just need to get a bit closer to the ground here so I can get this pallet hooked on. There we go. Then we can get this first load out and into the seeder so we can get our Fendt back in the field as quickly as possible. Make use of all this good weather. Temperatures climbed up again, now up to 8 degrees, so it's nice to feel a bit of warmth coming back to the farm here. kind of looking okay. I'm getting the top part done first here, and then I'll move on to the bottom bit in the afternoon. It's coming up to noon here on the farm, but we got a lot of seeding in progress. Basically, I think after we finish what is currently in progress, there's a carrot field left to do that needs to be done here in mid-spring, and then we got the big field close to the farm. I need to decide what to put down on that one. And then we got 2 fields down on the other side of the bridge. Those 2 are really intended for corn, so that's going to be late spring or even early summer before we get that seeded, I think. So we'll see how that goes. But apart from that, that is that is a huge step forward for our farm here again in springtime. But as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I think the last thing we want to do for today in this episode is basically to have a look and see if there might be a candidate. 692,000 euros. We're not going to spend all of it, but we're within the range where we could actually look at bringing another field in. I don't particularly want to lease any more field than the current field 17 we have. I want to make sure that we own the land instead, so we can keep it going in the years to come here on Eiersholt. So once I get up to the top of this row here, we'll do a little stop, have a look around the map, see if there's anything that's not too far away from the farm that is within affordable range, and maybe then we'll make a purchase. I do want a bit of money left over to be able to invest in our greenhouses over on the other side of the road. I reckon that's probably going to cost a couple of 100,000 euros, but to be honest, it's not a great rush. Even if push comes to shove, we can wait. We will have some milk sales coming in, and we're going to be selling off some pigs and stuff like that as well. Whoa, it's getting very heavy here. So actually, I'll just stop here for now, and we'll have a look at the map and see what there might be. So I'm just having a quick look at the growth map here, and we can see the seeding underway down in field 27. That's almost complete. In fact, that's fantastic. Sugar beet is getting very close to completion as well, and then our 1050 over here still got quite a bit to go. I had a little bit of funky play with course play. There's a strip missing in the middle there. I'll get that one sorted out before I finish the seeding. Then we have field 29 there to decide what to put on. Field 53 and 50 are going to be our corn fields. 49 has barley on it. 15 has wheat on it. Field 14 up here is the one I'm going to put carrots on. And then we got our clover, our alfalfa, and our grass field on 33, and we got some canola over on 31 here as well. So I am wondering whether we should have a look at the possibility of buying something instead. So here we can see everything that we own. Well, the only thing we don't own out of these is field 17. That one is leased. But looking at field 34 might be a good candidate at 271,000. Field 19 is a fair bit bigger, but it's also up to 423. We could afford that. 16 is probably too, yeah, that's up in a million. 18 is 280,000. It's not an awful lot. And then the next fields would be further down to the south here. I kind of want to try and keep the fields connected. 47 down on the other side of the campsite is too much, 900,000. I know 35 is over a million, it's 1.3 million. 54 is 656,000 and 55 is 448. So I think it's between field 55, 34 and 19 here. I guess if we went for 19, then we could add in 34 at some point and kind of wrap in the northern part of the map completely before we sort of move south of the main road in a big style here. I think that might be a good idea. Then at some point we want to expand out and grab field 13 here and really start closing in on this part, and of course 16 as well. But they are a little bit out of our price range right now. I think we're going to go for 19 now. Get that one bought in. And then obviously I need to take a look at it now to see what state it's in. So its current state is harvested. So we obviously need to do something. It is well fertilized. It doesn't need lime or plowing. So we can probably go straight to seeding on it. We'll have to have a quick look at its sort of crop rotation history, and then we'll be able to get going. The Zerion has finished putting sugar beets in, so that is fantastic. But I will have a look at the crop rotation history, and we'll probably be doing a bit of seeding again in the next episode, but we'll also need to look at a couple of other things. But with extra seeding, lots of seeding going on here in mid-spring, it's time for me to wrap up this episode and just say thank you very much for watching. Do come back for the next episode where we finish off the seeding and probably start the spraying season as well, I suspect. But for now, thank you very much from Overcourt Gaming, and see you again soon.